Hi, my name is Steve Albertson, and I work for Springwire, which is a national nonprofit based here in Seattle. I'm really excited to tell you about a new project we're working on, which is called Digital Documents. So if you're homeless, there's a lot of reasons why people are homeless, but there's one characteristic they all share. They are homeless. They don't have a home. They don't have a safe place for themselves. They don't have a safe place for all their stuff. And right now in King County, there are about 2,500 people every night who are facing homelessness and are maybe living on the streets. So if they are homeless, they may be carrying around a bag like this. And so we looked in these bags and we said, well, what's in here? Well, there's a shoe, there's a book, there may be some food that they're carrying, there's some comfort items, some clothes. So this is all the stuff that they're carrying in the bag, everything they need for their daily existence. But what else is in this bag? We took a look at that as well. So we looked and we said, wow, there are documents in this bag. So a person who's homeless is carrying around all their most important critical documents. Their military discharge papers, their birth certificate, they're carrying along their ID, they're carrying on letters from loved ones. They're also carrying cell phones. A lot of homeless people are getting cell phones like everybody else. And on those cell phones, they're carrying all their contact information for everybody who's important to them. They're also carrying photos. Photos are incredibly important to people who are homeless, and it's one of the last things they lose before they spiral into poverty. They're reminders of better things. And I know I've got a box of old photographs in my house that if my house was on fire, that's one of the things I would grab after I got my family out. So what is the issue here? So these things are really at risk. Okay, these things can get lost, these things can get stolen. And by the way, it rains here in Seattle. Okay, this stuff falls from the sky most years. And when this happens, everything gets destroyed. They get lost, they get stolen, everything it turns out harder for them. It's much harder to do anything when you're a homeless person who have their documents destroyed. So what does harder rich look like? Well, this is my friend Richard. He's a client of ours that actually became my friend when he came into our office about 4 years ago carrying 2 suitcases full of documents. He was wanting to tell us about his rise out of poverty. He's a Vietnam-era veteran who had found himself homeless. And he carried around 2 briefcases full of documents everywhere he went because he had to produce documents all the time. And he said if he didn't have that, he would not be out of poverty and housed right now. So what are we going to do? Well, we have a really simple idea. We're going to take the documents out of this bag. We're going to take the cell phone. We're going to take the photos. We're going to scan them, and we're going to store them in a cloud storage solution like Google Drive or Microsoft SkyDrive. So this makes it really easy for people to always retrieve their documents. They know they're safe, and they can get them anytime they need to. Really simple idea. So we're looking for $25,000 to start a pilot project here in Seattle. And so for that, you get people like me who will be going out there and actually doing the scanning work as we did today at a big event here at Seattle Center. We need to buy some equipment to do this. It's not a huge expense. You're going to tap into the network that we have that I'll tell you about. And then finally, you're going to help us create here in Seattle a model that we can use elsewhere in the country. So it's a really important thing to start here. So why does it work? Well, we've surveyed our own clients around the country, and about 60 to 70% of them have email addresses and check them all the time. And they check them at libraries. That's the #1 place, but they're also checking them at social service agencies around the country. And then finally, more than 1/3 of people you see out walking around on the street have cell phones, and that number is only increasing because of a federal program that's helping them get there. And so many of the people in this room may never have experience with these social service agencies, but they're really based on paper. They give you paper back and everything else. Well, the population using these services are more digital. And so we want to try to bridge that gap to get the paper-producing organizations to turn them digital for the population that's consuming them. So why does this matter? I just want to give you a couple examples. If you're trying to get the Washington State Basic Food Program, which is food stamps, you need to produce documents. If you're a veteran trying to get your military benefits, you need to produce documents. And if you're trying to get health care for your kids, you have to produce documents. And without being able to produce these documents, everything is slower. You don't get food, you don't get your money, your kids don't get your health care. So we want to start something big. We're going to be doing scanning workshops in the city of Seattle to test this concept and to get some clients involved in doing this work. We want to institutionalize it here so a homeless person in Seattle can always find a place to have their documents scanned. We want to grow and build it out through our network, our national network of organizations, and we want to change the social service model in this country, one from everything being done on paper to one where clients are getting their digital documents sent to them by the agency serving them. We have a hardware partnership with Fujitsu. The city of Seattle has given us a small grant to get started. we're going to have continued success. Springwire's been here for 20 years. We're providing programs in 42 cities, including Vancouver, BC, but 42 cities in North America. We work with 1,600 social service providers who are all providing our services. And over these years that we've been in existence, we've provided services to 500,000 people. And we've got 13 really incredible people that would love to sink their teeth on this project. So I thank you very much, and I really hope that together, whether we get funding or not, we can make things like this a thing of the past for the homeless people in our community. So thank you very much.